why they feel this way. And some people say that therapy is a waste of money. What do you think
Mm,
about that? Like,
mm,
because I mean, I think I've heard people say that like they'll pay lots of money, go there, and then they still are in the same
mm,
situation. Is it that they're
mm,
not doing what they're told to do, or they
mm.
don't find it as a means to being better in what they are
Well,
suffering
well,
from? Yeah.
yeah. So I would say that that is two part, right? And so, in order for therapy to be effective and helpful for you, you have to have a good therapist, and you
Mm,
also have to be a good client yourself. So you have to have a good therapist in the sense that you have to find that not every therapist is for everybody, and we have to understand that, right? That's why it's so important to find a therapist that aligns with your values, your beliefs. And that's why it's so important for Christians to have Christian therapists, people that are actually filled with the Holy Spirit that can, like, as you're speaking, they can discern, they can know, like they have the training and the skill educationally, but they also have the spirit of God to be able to discern when something that you're saying is off. But so I would say that it's on two parts. It's on a part of a therapist, finding a therapist that aligns with your values, a therapist that also is trained in what you're going through. And so there are different types of therapists, right? There a couple like there are family and marriage therapists that specifically focus on working with families. There are trauma informed therapists that work specifically with clients that are dealing with trauma. There are even sex therapists
oh,
that work with clients that are addicted to sex or are just
wow.
having a hard time having sex in general, right? There are child therapists that work specifically with children. And so it's important to find the therapist that aligns with your values or the therapist that aligns with what you are experiencing in the moment that you need support from. And so that's the first thing. And then the other part too is that it's important for you to actually, as the client, implement the things that are being talked about. And so sometimes people will come to, and I have clients that do this too. They'll come to therapy, we'll have a conversation, and we'll talk about the things that they need to do when we leave. And they'll come back the next day. I'm like, oh, so how did it go? Like, were you able to practice, let's say, your affirmations, or were you able to I have a client who she says she actually said that she was gonna start doing a Bible plan. I was like, oh, how did it go? Did you start it? No, I didn't start it. Another week. Oh, did you start it? No, I didn't start it. So, you have to also be willing to put in the work in order for therapy to be effective.